Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. And guys, this morning I woke up and I decided that I was feeling a little hungry for a big win. And if you guys have watched my video series for a while, you know when I have these kind of feelings, this feeling of like I just want to go ahead and take the world by the balls and just really, or take the bull by the horns, whatever analogy you want to use. I have a feeling. I woke up and I had a feeling, and so I have a 5-leg parlay to share with you guys. Don't ask me why I feel this way. Is it because we had a bad night last night? We'll get to the recap in a second. Possibly. Some of you might call this chasing my losses. I don't view it that way. Potentially it is. I don't know. It's up to the eye of the beholder, I guess. But despite having a bad night last night, I woke up feeling really strong, really confident, really good. Brought out, if you guys have watched H2H, the football pick show with Evan myself during football season, this is the H2H championship shirt from my title-winning season, 2023. We won't talk about 2024. Moral of the story being, guys, I woke up feeling very confident. I love the parlay I've cooked up for today. I was in the lab, call me Walter White, in the lab cooking this morning, and I feel really, really good. So we got a 5-leg parlay plus 571 odds over on FanDuel for today's video. And it's not Freaky Friday, but I want to do a little giveaway because I feel so confident. I know this is going to hit. And I want to do a giveaway because I want other people to share in my victory, in my success. The victory lap, if this hits tomorrow, is going to be massive. So you know what, guys? Go ahead and comment champ. Comment champ down below in the comment section. And if this parlay hits, I'm going to go ahead and give one lucky commenter. Let's do a $50 Amazon gift card. We're going to raise the stakes a little bit. $50 Amazon gift card. Comment champ down below. If this parlay hits, we're giving $50 to one lucky commenter. So comment champ down below. Like I said, guys, I'm feeling really strong, really confident. And again, I'm not telling you guys you have to take it. You don't want to take it, don't ride. But I'm telling you guys, I love the parlay I cooked up today. And let's do a quick little recap so I don't bore you guys here. So like I said, comment champ down below. And look, we had a really bad night, like I alluded to. 1-4 last night. Thank God for Porzingis, that under did save us. Somebody commented, that's why I don't bet overs. I get it. Unders usually are, not usually, but they are a smart play. It's just tough because these guys are all playing 35, 40 minutes a game. If they have an even halfway decent shooting night, they're going to cash these overs. And we didn't miss these by much. Tyrese Halliburton, 15.5 rebounds plus assists, finished with 14. Cade Cunningham, 33.5 points plus rebounds, finished with 32. If Cade makes one more shot, he cashes the over. The Halliburton one, I mean, he would get to overtime and he still didn't get it. It is what it is. Kawhi Leonard finished with 20 points. We needed 25 from him. Just didn't shoot the ball that well. So that's really what it comes. Derek White just didn't do much at all. Really had a Lou Dort kind of game. But yeah, it sucks. It is what it is. Our record's still really solid on the year, though. Parlays and single bets, we're still up over 25 units profit on the year. So yeah, it's a rough night. We've kind of had that this playoffs. Kind of been one good night followed by a really bad night. That's been the pattern. But following that pattern, really bad night last night, really good night tonight. So no more lollygagging. Let's dive right into today's 5-leg, not Freaky Friday. I don't know what you want to call this. Wet Wednesday? Pause? I don't know. Let's just dive into the parlay. I guess Wild Wednesday was also there for the taking. I went right into Wet Wednesday, but hey, it is what it is. All right, guys. So 5-leg parlay. We're using FanDuel for today's parlay. Starting off with the Warriors-Rockets game, the first leg of our 5-leg parlay, we're going Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors over 28.5 points plus assists. Minus 215 over on FanDuel. Yes, these are all alternate lines. And look, we faded Steph Curry on our last video on Monday, and it actually worked out for us. However, I do think this is a good spot to go ahead and tail Steph Curry in a game where the Warriors can put the Rockets away definitively. And the data is obviously being an alternate line is very solid for Steph Curry. 4 of his last 5 games, including 3 of the 4 games in this series, he's cashed the over. The last game, game 4, where the Warriors did win, it was the only game where he didn't cash the over in this series. He just didn't shoot the ball that well in game 4. But the overall data is solid. 57% hit rate on the year, averaging 30.77 points plus assists per game overall this year. And from a head-to-head perspective, a good sample size too. 7 of his last 10 games against the Rockets, including all 4 games of this playoff series, he's cashed the over, averaging 29.1 points plus assists per game across those last 10 matchups. So really good recent data, really good overall data, really good head-to-head data. And the Rockets this year, one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA in terms of points allowed to point guards. And it kind of makes sense. You see Curry, 31, 20, 36. Again, we talk about patterns here. One really good game followed by a not so good game. And I mean, game 2, 20 points, 9 assists in a playoff game, not a terrible game. Followed it up with 36 points and then had 17 points. So I think following that pattern, following that trend, we could see a big Curry game here tonight. Decent matchup. Rockets, I think, at home, they're going to be scared down 1-3. They're a young team. The lights are going to be a little bit too bright for them. I think Steph Curry's going to put them away. So that's our first leg of our 5-leg parlay. And for our second leg of our 5-leg parlay, speaking of the moment being too bright, again, sticking with this Warriors-Rockets game, we're going Jalen Green under 22.5 points plus assists of the Houston Rockets, of course, minus 240 over on FanDuel. Now, look, the overall data actually isn't great on this player prop. He only cashed this under at a 42% hit rate this year, 36 out of 86 games he cashed the under, averaging 24.2 points plus assists per game. If you've been watching my videos all year long, I bet a lot of Jalen Green overs and made a lot of money off of Jalen Green. So it's weird to bet his under here, but the lights are a little bit too bright here. Game 5 at home, down 3-1. He's had a little bit of a rough series here versus the Warriors, aside from Game 2 where he went off, right? 38 points and 6 assists. The other 3 games, he cashed the under with flying colors, with some really low performances. I mean, he's playing minutes, right? The minutes have been there, except for the last game. He only played 25 minutes. But almost 39 minutes in Game 3. I mean, he just not, besides that Game 2 where, again, he went off, not taking the same volume of shots, and even when he is shooting, it just hasn't been pretty for him so far. And I mean, Golden State, they're okay, solid defensively versus shooting guards. They're not a great defensive team, but they're doing a good job versus Jalen Green. And again, he's a young player, inexperienced when it comes to the postseason. I think he's a little green. A little pun there. That was fucking awful. But Jalen Green, under 22.5 points plus assists. I just think this is a really tough spot. And the head-to-head data, the Warriors have owned him. 10 of his last 12 games, including playoffs, he's cashed the under. That's an 83% hit rate, averaging just 17.83 points plus assists per game across the last 12 matchups with Golden State. Tough spot. The Warriors have owned him again. Besides that one Game 2 where he went off, he's had a rough series. I don't think it's going to get much better here in Game 5 with the moment being bright. I think even last game you saw the Rockets kind of giving him less opportunities. I just think the moment's too big for Jalen Green. So I like the under here as the second leg of our 5-leg parlay. All right, this is where the fun begins. But shout out Revenge of the Sith. If you guys saw that re-release in the theaters, I went on Sunday night. Really, really fun time. I don't know. I mean, we're starting to do it more. We should be releasing more old movies in the movie theater. I saw Interstellar also re-released. Spider-Man 2 saw it re-released. I love going to it. It's just cool to see your favorite movies back on the big screen. So going to see Revenge of the Sith on Sunday night was awesome to all my movie nerds out there. So this is where the fun begins here. Lakers, Timberwolves. I got 3 player props in this game. Our third leg of our 5-leg parlay, we've got Austin Reeves over 15.5 points of the Los Angeles Lakers, minus 270 over on FanDuel. The data is phenomenal across the board here. 9 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 20.8 points per game over the last 10 games. Overall this year, a 74% hit rate on the over for Austin Reeves. 57 out of 77 games, he cashed the over, averaging 20.05 points per game this year. Even the last 20 game data, 18 of his last 20 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 23.25 points per game over his last 20. And from a head-to-head perspective, 8 of his last 11 matchups with the Minnesota Timberwolves, he's cashed the over. That's a 73% hit rate, averaging 16.73 points per game. He's actually cashed it in 6 consecutive games, including all 4 games in this series thus far. So some really good numbers here. Game 5 back home in Los Angeles. I think the Lakers do win tonight. And if they're going to win, they're going to need Reeves to really step up. Because, again, LeBron at this point in his career, how much can you rely on him? We know Luka's obviously there. But it's really those 3. Outside of those 3, who else are you going to give the ball to go ahead and score? So I think it's a really big game for Austin Reeves. You know the minutes are there. The shot attempts have been there. He doesn't shot the ball particularly well. The last couple games, 39%, 43%, 38%. Only Game 2, he shot 50%. But the opportunities have been there. He can do even better. He cashed the over in all 4 games, but could have done more. I think it's a big spot. I think they're going to look to Reeves to help them out. I think he will help them in a big way. So that's our third leg of our 5-leg parlay. And for our fourth leg of our 5-leg parlay, speaking of Luka Doncic, we're going Luka over 36.5 points plus assists, minus 168 over on FanDuel. Last 10 games, 60% hit rate, pretty solid. Overall data, 54% hit rate, 29 out of 54 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 35.81 points plus assists per game overall this year. What I really want to focus on here is the head-to-head matchup versus Minnesota. Dating back to last year with the Dallas Mavericks, the numbers have been pretty solid. 10 of his last 14 games against the Minnesota Timberwolves, including playoffs, he's cashed the over. That's a 71% hit rate, averaging 36.71 points plus assists per game over the last 14 matchups with Minnesota. More importantly, what I want you guys to look at here is just the playoff games. So last year with the Dallas Mavericks, you had 5 5-0 last year in the playoffs versus Minnesota on this line as a member of the Dallas Mavericks. So far this year, 3 out of 4. So he's played them 9 times in the playoffs over the last 2 seasons. He's cashed the over in 8 of those 9 games. The one time he missed it was game 3 of the series. He just was completely off the mark in that one. So really good playoff success versus this Timberwolves team. They really don't have an answer for him most nights, minus, again, that game 3 performance. I know defensively they're a solid team, but Luka has been their kryptonite in a lot of ways. Lakers back against the wall at home in Los Angeles. Luka is the number 1. I don't care what anybody says. LeBron, this is not his team anymore. This is Luka's team now. And in this spot, I expect Luka to go ahead and rise to the occasion again. I think the Lakers do win tonight. I think we're going 6 games in this series. I think Luka Doncic is going to be a big reason why we get to a game 6. So that's our 4th leg of our 5-leg parlay. And wrapping things up, guys, our 5th and final leg in today's parlay is from the Timberwolves side of things now. Naz Reid over 13.5 points plus rebounds, minus 240 over on FanDuel. And the data, of course, for a line like this is fantastic. 8 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 17.5 points plus rebounds per game over the last 10. Last 20 games, still an 80% hit rate, averaging 17.4 points plus rebounds per game over his last 20 games. Overall this year, an 83% hit rate on this over, including playoffs. 70 out of 84 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 20.12 points plus rebounds per game overall this season. So some really good numbers there for Naz Reid. But this is the number I love the most from this player prop. 11 of his last 12 matchups, including playoffs with the Los Angeles Lakers, he's cashed the over. It's a 92% hit rate, averaging 20.58 points plus rebounds per game over the last 12 matchups with the Los Angeles Lakers. So definitely a lot of data to go off of here. The one time he missed it was in game 2 of the series. He had just 9 points and 2 rebounds in that loss for the Timberwolves, but he's been successful. 3 out of 4 in this series so far. He's cashed the over. 11 of his last 12 versus the Lakers. If we go ahead and narrow it down to the last 5 games, which, by the way, 80% hit rate. Now, the scary thing here is, of course, the minutes played. So far in this series, it's been very fluctuating. Game 1, he played almost 31 minutes. Game 2, 21 minutes. Game 3, 27.5. And then Game 4, just 19.6 minutes. So that's the scary part. However, keep in mind that in some of those games we played less minutes, like Game 4, where he only played 19.6 minutes, he still cashed the over with 12 points and 4 rebounds in that game. I think what should comfort you guys is the fact they're looking at Naz Reid a little bit more than Rudy Gobert. I think Reid is a better matchup with the Lakers here than Gobert is. They're kind of running Gobert off the court. And Naz Reid's been shooting the ball very, very well, so they don't really need him to take too many shots. When you're shooting over 50%, and again, the line's not that high, 7 shot attempts, as long as he's hitting 4 shots, we're in a pretty good place to go ahead and cash the over. And God forbid he shoots more, we're in a really, really good spot. So I like the spot. I'll say spot one more time. Again, 11 of his last 12 games versus the Lakers, he's cashed the over. Really good data across the board. That's our 5th and final leg of today's parlay. So jumping on over to FanDuel, quick little recap here. We got Steph Curry over 28.5 points plus assists. Jalen Green under 22.5 points plus assists. We got Austin Reeves over 15.5 points. Naz Reid over 13.5 points plus rebounds. And Luka Doncic over 36.5 points plus assists. You parlay all 5 together, you get a parlay of plus 577 odds over on FanDuel. Really strong value for a really solid 5-leg parlay. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Again, make sure to comment CHAMP down below. And if this parlay hits, one lucky commenter will win a free $50 Amazon gift card. I'll be back tomorrow. We have May 1st. We start our May ladder challenge tomorrow, so we'll have another parlay tomorrow. We got a lot of parlays, at least, including today. In the next 3 days, you're guaranteed a parlay. So a lot of parlays coming up here. But yeah, tomorrow, ladder challenge starts for the month of May. We got a lot of great basketball still to come here as we enter the end of round 1, going into round 2. Some really fun matchups already set up in round 2. Guys, until tomorrow, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your Wednesday. Let's go ahead and make some big money.